Good morning. Today we're going to learn a new song which kind of touches on our seventh principle, respect for the interdependent web of existence. I think it's kind of like a nice grounding song that reminds you that you are connected to everything and to the earth. Put your roots down. Let's start actually. Why don't we do it on a do first? The words will come shortly. So I'll go first. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. And with the words I'll go first. Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. Can you hear what she says if you listen? Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. Can you hear what she says if you listen? 'Cause the sound of the river as it moves across the stone. Your turn. 'Cause the sound of the river as it moves across the stone. My turn. Is the same sound as the blood in your body as it moves across your bones. Is the same sound as the blood in your body as it moves across your bones. We're going to put it all together now. The first 4 lines up to if you listen, we're going to repeat those twice, and then we'll repeat the next ones twice. And that's kind of how it all fits together. So let's go. Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. Can you hear what she says if you listen? Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. Can you hear what she says if you listen? 'Cause the sound of the river as it moves across the stones is the same sound as the blood in your body as it moves across your bones. 'Cause the sound of the river as it moves across your bone is the same sound as the blood in your body as it moves across your bones. Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. Can you hear what she says if you listen? Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. Can you hear what she says if you listen? 'Cause the sound of the river as it moves across your bone is the same sound as the blood in your body as it moves across your bones. 'Cause the sound of the river as it moves across the stone is the same sound as the blood in your body as it moves across your bones.
Good morning. Apologies for not having a name tag. It's back there somewhere, but I have yet to find it. I'm Guy Belpache. I'm a member of the board, and I have a few announcements for you, so please bear with. This year's AGM is on Saturday, May the 3rd at 4 p.m. That's less than 2 weeks away. Registrations will be available in Fellowship Hall starting at 3 p.m., and registration will begin at 3:30. Because it's happening late on a Saturday afternoon, and especially if we have a day like this, we're a little concerned about having quorum. So please attend if you can, and if you can't, please arrange for someone to hold your proxy. It will be an important meeting. There's going to be Zoom meetings on the morning of Monday, April the 28th, and on the evening of Wednesday, April 30th, for more detailed discussion of the finance topics on the AGM agenda, including the 2024 audited financial statements, always exciting, and a very important proposal for FirstU to consider issuing community bonds to support the construction of affordable housing. That is quite interesting. Information about these topics and other AGM materials will be sent to members on April 23rd, and details of how to give your proxy and a link to the finance meetings will be in the next 2 EUUs, or in the case of the finance meetings, just the next EUU, because after that are the meetings. If you have a radio or a television or social media, you'll know that the City of Ottawa has announced that Saturday and Sunday, May 3rd and 4th, will be free transit days. All buses, trains, and paratranspo will be free to use. So keep this in mind as you plan your travel to the AGM and to the service and the spring concert the next day. The CUC AGM will take place online on Saturday, May 31st from 1 to 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. If you're a member of the congregation and have an interest in representing FirstU as a delegate at the AGM, please contact me, Guy Belperche, before next Friday. Participating in the AGM is a great way to learn more about the CUC and how we all fit together as UUism in Canada. The Environmental Action Group is collaborating with Earth Hub, and their site is earthhub.ca, a community effort supported by volunteers throughout the City of Ottawa to collect plastic tags from any bag, milk, bread, or veggies. You know, the little things that you twist, and when you were a child, you'd snap them in half and fling them around? Those things. Yes, my inner child is still very close to the surface. You can add your tags to the container by the pen marker box. Last Sunday, we had a wonderful celebration to welcome our new members. If you have been active at FirstU for at least 3 months and are curious about how to join the congregation, please ask at the welcome table in the back of the room. There's the lovely Jane Lindsay standing right in front of it. Or send a message to welcome@firstunitarianottawa.ca. We look forward to chatting with you. During these exciting times with Reverend Lara joining us, FirstU's nominating committee is looking for a member at large and a secretary for our congregation's board. Feel free to approach Mike Fletcher in Fellowship Hall after the service, who can discuss board work here at FirstU. And there's Mike, he's the guy waving to us from the back there. You can also talk to any current board member as well. And I'd now like to invite David Chernyshenko, very, very spiffily dressed today, this year's Time and Talent Auction Coordinator, to come here for an important announcement.
Thank you, Guy. Good morning, everyone. As you may know, I am the coordinator of the revived Time and Talent Auction. It was a tradition every year for a while, but like a lot of things, got put on hold a few years ago for reasons I vaguely recall. But it's not only revived, but it is now an online auction. And the Time and Talent Auction, as you will see, is not just about objects, though there are some of those. There's a lot of services that members of the congregation are offering and providing, things like suppers and games nights and helping you in your garden and driving services and a whole range of things. Quick question for you. Who has already been on the site? All right, that's great. Who has already placed a bid? That's great too. We have about 40 or so bids already placed, and probably a good half of the items have got a bid on it. But they're at the low end, and we want to get them to the upper end. So now is your chance to get going. The site is live. There have been links in the EUU you will have received on the website. There's a link as well. There is the QR code on posters that you can find at a few places, and I will be at a table inside Fellowship Hall after the service, also with that QR code there, and I can show you the website. Some of the items, some of the actual tangible items are on display. Thank you to those donors of those things we have in there, just to get you thinking, and I'd be glad to walk you through how it works. You do have to, it is all online, as I mentioned. You do have to get an account, and then you can be bidding, and you get notified if someone has upped the bid on you, so you get the excitement building. And then when the auction ends on April 30th at 9 p.m. on April 30th, you'll get a notification. And if you're the winner, you'll be prompted you can actually pay online. So we've made it as simple as possible. But if you have trouble getting an account going, my first answer to that is find a younger person in your life. Tell them they're not allowed to roll their eyes at you. as they set it up for you and show you how. But after that, it should be relatively easy. And there's a FAQ, a frequently asked questions, and a help button on that site as well that answers all those questions as you go. So, there we go. We're rolling. Start bidding.
Thank you, David. Bonjour tout le monde. Happy Easter! And welcome everyone to the First Unitarian Congregation of Ottawa. Whether you are here in Worship Hall or watching from wherever you may be, know that you are warmly welcome here. I'm the Reverend Eric Meter, this congregation's lead minister.
And I'm Lisa, your worship associate this morning. Let us begin with a land acknowledgement. We acknowledge that our FirstU campus is located on traditional, unsurrendered, and unceded Algonquin and Anishinaabeg territory, and that the work of reconciliation is a responsibility of our congregation and of all Canadians. Our goal is to educate ourselves and all those who have a willingness to understand, to be of service to those at risk, and to advocate for justice. And I'll invite the members of the Chalice Choir to come up onto the stage. So let's join our voices in song once more. So let's rise in body and spirit as Jen leads us in singing Now the Green Blade Riseth, which is hymn number 266 in the gray hymnal. And we'll sing verses 1, 3, and then 1 again. And the lyrics will be up here on the screen as well. I hope that you will take advantage of online opportunities at FirstU to stay in touch. If you are new to FirstU and would like to learn more about us, please contact us through our email, welcome@firstunitarianottawa.ca. And if you are right here in Worship Hall with us this morning and would like more information about us, it is at the welcome table at the back of the pews. We encourage you to sign up to receive the EUU, our weekly email newsletter. Sign-up information is available on our website under the EUU Weekly Newsletter tab, and you can access the EUU on the website or by using the QR code on the back of our printed programs. Check out our Facebook and Instagram pages and our website for notices and updates. Our calendar continues to be as full as ever, though some of our activities do take place online. This morning, each of us is welcome here. We of any heritage or faith, whatever our burdens, of any culture or race, of any gender or orientation, in any body, all that we are. Today, we are all part of this spiritual community.
Most of our young ones are downstairs and outside this morning. In addition to their traditional Easter egg hunt, they will be choosing a service project for later in the spring. To begin our morning's reflection on the promise of Easter and the possibility of many forms of resurrection, we light our chalice this morning to these words from Elizabeth Strong, and my helper can come forward at any point as I read out these words. Out of the earth rises light, rises life, rises spring. May we join with the miracle that is springtime and enter into life with lightness and joy. There we go. Out of the Spirit rises faith, rises hope, rises success, rises love. May we join with the miracle that is Easter time and enter into life with hope and love. Let us resurrect with spring. Let us resurrect with the Spirit and enter into renewed life as we gather into our time of worship together this Easter morning. Our chalice is lit. Thank you, Son. Come, let us worship together as we sing our chalice song. Each week we pause in our time together in recognition of the joys and sorrows in our lives and across the globe. We honor our celebrations and challenges by placing stones in small bowls of water. As the ripples extend outward, imagine them continuing out beyond the bowls, out through and past our pews, out into the larger community of all. Lisa, will you help me this morning? A stone for the early buds on tree branches and the buds that are inside each of us, perhaps, waiting for just a little while longer, perhaps, for more light and warmth to blossom. Against this background, we lead our lives. Please come forward now to honor the joys and sorrows you carry with you by placing stones in these bowls of water. The last stones, as always, represent all that remain in the silent sanctuary of our hearts. There are no carrying cards this morning, but I do have an Easter meditation for all of us. These words in the tomb of the soul are by Sarah York. After this, we will move into a time of stillness and quiet meditation. In the tomb of the soul, we carry secret yearnings, pains, frustrations, loneliness, fears, regrets, worries. In the tomb of the soul, we take refuge from the world and its heaviness. In the tomb of the soul, we wrap ourselves in the security of darkness. Sometimes this is a comfort. Sometimes it is an escape. Sometimes it prepares us for experience. Sometimes it insulates us from life. Sometimes this tomb life gives us time to feel the pain of the world and reach out to heal others. Sometimes it numbs us and locks us up with our own concerns. In this season where light and dark balance the day, we seek balance for ourselves. Grateful for the darkness that has nourished us, we push away the stone and invite the light to awaken us to the possibilities within us and among us, possibilities for a new life in ourselves and in our world.
The reading this morning is Easter Resurrection by Kathleen McTeague. The Easter story, as told in the Gospel of John, revolves around the experience of one person, Mary Magdalene. It's Mary who gets up before dawn on the day after the Jewish Sabbath and goes alone to visit the tomb. Her beloved teacher has died a horrible death, and it was only by the unexpected generosity of a wealthy man that Jesus was given even the small, late dignity of a real burial place instead of a pauper's grave. Because of the Sabbath, his body had not been cleaned according to tradition, and Mary set out early with her herbs in order to do this last grieving service. But when she got to the tomb, she found that the stone blocking the entrance had already been rolled away, and his body was gone. It isn't hard to imagine her despair and anger at being robbed of even this last farewell. She ran to some of Jesus' other followers with the news, and they came back with her to see for themselves. They probably stood there for a while arguing about what to do, but there was nothing to be done. Who would you complain to when you risked your life, even admitting to the authorities that you had known him? Filled with that bitter realization, they finally left again. But Mary stayed, alone and weeping. Maybe something defiant crept in with her grief that made her brave enough to stay. Then she caught a movement out of the corner of her eye and turned to find someone standing there. "Why are you crying?" he asked. "Who are you looking for?" Thinking he must be the gardener, she said as carefully as she could, "Sir, if you have carried him away, tell me where you put him and I'll take care of it. I won't tell anyone. I'll just take his body and clean him up so he can rest in peace." Then Jesus, because of course it was Jesus standing there and she didn't recognize him, Jesus called out her name, Mary. And then she knew, and she said back to him, "Rabbi." For those of us who believe that Jesus was a human being like us, the idea of his literal resurrection from death is a leap of faith we can't quite make. We know that when our bodies die, they die. We belong to the earth, and it is comforting and right to know that we dissolve again into that sweetness. But we can believe in Mary's resurrection. When Mary heard her name called, suddenly her eyes were opened to a new reality. She was called out from the blindness of her grief and despair, and from within herself, she found a new way to see and to understand what had happened to her. I take that Easter story as truth. It points to the moments in every life when something within us is called out, called forth, called to a deeper understanding of our world. Easter raises the question, in this bright opening of the earth, in this turning season when new life is pouring out all around us, what will we bring forth from within ourselves? It's a time that calls us to open our eyes in a new way, to see not just what we expect to see, but perhaps some bright and mysterious truth we could not fathom before, something completely new and unexpected. We are a troubled tribe, we human beings. The unfolding story of our time on earth is clouded with pain and cruelty, missed opportunities, unthinkable heedlessness and indifference. It is also marked by the bright notes of decency, kindness, freedom, and courage. Easter proclaims that we each have a part to play in how the story unfolds, if we are willing to wake up. We listen for what is calling to us, and like Mary, when we hear our name, we answer, rising anew to meet the life that will not stop calling our names.
Today's anthem, which is going to be performed by a chalice choir, moves us, I guess, more in the direction of how we can renew and reinvigorate the earth. The piece is probably very well known to many of you. It's Big Yellow Taxi by Joni Mitchell from my hometown of Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. And she says about writing it, I wrote Big Yellow Taxi on my first trip to Hawaii. I took a taxi to the hotel, and when I woke up the next morning, I threw back the curtains and saw beautiful green mountains in the distance and parking lot as far as the eye could see. and it broke my heart. This blight on paradise. I sat down and wrote the song. So. Oh, I need my music.
The long Easter weekend. Early voting in the federal election began on Friday. There have been gatherings, and someone left a couple little chocolate Easter eggs on the windowsill of my door that I opened, and they fell on my feet, and I put them in Lost and Found. And the Sens are playing tonight in the hockey finals. Last year on Easter Sunday, I shared the following, this passage from my colleague, the Reverend Scott Taylor. Spring and Easter don't preach the same sermon. Spring promises the inevitability of relief, The cold will end on its own, and the flowers will naturally bloom. Easter tells us that wholeness won't come without work. Spring says, sit still and watch the dirt transform to beauty. Easter says, get busy and make friends with dry earth. Dig in and don't be afraid of blistering your hands. The pain, sorrowed, and bloodied soil is not redeemed by the seeds. It is the seed. Don't run away from the pain. Don't wait it out. Instead, trust it. If you do the work to befriend it, it will leave you whole. I agree. And several of you seemed to agree as well as you asked me for the passage, and I happily complied and sent it off to several of you. And I've been sitting with it, thinking of it these past 12 months. I did agree with Scott Taylor. Over the years since I shared his words with you, I noticed, though, that there seemed to be something off about them. What he said was true enough, but something's missing. Easter is, as Taylor states, it's the reflection on springtime I realize I'm having trouble with. It took a letter from a member of our larger faith community at the very start of this last calendar year to help me see and clarify what I was looking for. Let me read it in part to you now. Who sent it really doesn't matter. It could have come from just about anyone. That's the second letter. This is the first. Reverend, I have a question. What should I do to respond to what is called global warming? I don't pretend to understand the impossible complexity of the question, but I cannot avoid addressing it. I drive a car. I like to travel. I live in the suburbs, and I heat my house with natural gas. I am an Enbridge customer. I eat meat. My wife and I live very comfortably, thank you very much. Today, the Keeling reading is 427.48 parts per million. 5 years ago, it was 410. China emits 12.7 billion tons carbon dioxide a year, and the U.S. 4.9, and Canada somewhere around 500 million. If you tell me to go jump in the Ottawa River, I will certainly understand. Respectfully, an earnest congregant. I wrote back our earnest questioner with only the slightest measure of an answer and a question of my own. Might I use his note in an upcoming Sunday address? His reply, the second letter. These are handwritten letters, a rarity, something we need to treasure and do write more of. Reverend, please feel free to ignore, criticize, or use my thoughts however. At the same time, try to understand how much I appreciate your note. I read about Jim Hansen, Al Gore, Bill McKibben, and others, and hurt with them as they are ignored with the apathy they are up against. I use the word apathy perhaps a little too casually. Whatever it is has given us unimaginable desecration of the biosphere. My question is, how do I respond? And then a word that might either be thank or think or thunk, followed by an exclamation point before he signs off once again. I will take our earnest questioner's last word as both thank you and think. Now, for those of you not familiar with the mention of the Keeling reading in the first letter, the Keeling curve is the daily record of global atmospheric carbon dioxide levels. Today, that reading is 428.54 parts per million, just up over a point in the last 4 months. Friends, as much as I'd like to say that the answer to the question of how we can best live our lives in light of the climate crisis is above my pay grade, that's a cop-out, pure and simple. Our earnest questioner is right. Only the question he poses is best addressed to each and every one of us. We're not accountable to our clergy, but to each other, after all, and to those who will come after us, mostly to those who will come after us. What Scott Taylor assumes is the inevitability of springtime, and yes, as long as there are seasons, we will have times in which things go fallow and times when they return to their splendor. And while the planet will go on for a long, long time without Homo sapiens walking along the landscape, the beauty in life we have known is in jeopardy. Our own kind is in jeopardy. You know this. This is nothing new. This spring, we need an Easter resurrection of our approach to how we live and impact the only home we have ever known. I read about Musk's call to colonize Mars, others as well. Yeah, maybe, someday. But let's focus on Earth first, on getting things right on Earth first, or at least a little bit better. It is so easy to divert our attention to shiny objects that distract us from what matters most. And I say that as much of a magpie as anyone you have ever met. Our thinking and approach to our lives, the impact we have on this planet has to change. As our earnest questioner states, I eat meat. You eat meat? I eat meat. Let's eat less. You enjoy traveling? I enjoy traveling. Let's fly much less. And this is a sacrifice, as travel is one of the most impactful ways we learn who we are as global citizens. There are few better ways of learning what it means to be human than getting away from the culture of our birth, at least for a little while. One of the surprises I had when I came to Ottawa was how much more like Europe Ottawa and Canada are in at least one manner than I had expected. I learned early on that the notion that has its sway in the States, that the customer is always right, is not the unquestioned default here in the Great White, soon to be the Great Green North. The person in charge of many transactions here is not the customer, but the clerk. This is good overall, deeply good, and it brought me pause as I had to realize how Americanized, how consumerized I was. To this end, what we need is to roll away the stones before our eyes, before we can take in with as much honesty as we can our impact towards this, our home planet. Electric cars, are an improvement over fossil fuel vehicles, but ultimately only a small step forward. We need to ask ourselves, what is enough? Our earnest questioner from the suburbs says, my wife and I live quite well, thank you very much. We have to decenter what it means to be wealthy. It's not the billionaires' billions. It's the health of our children and our children's children's children. We need to ask ourselves, what is enough? Our answers will vary from person to person and from time to time for each of us. But the more we begin to normalize asking ourselves the question, the more we encourage one another to ask, what's really enough? The better we'll be, and the better off those will be who come after us. At least they'll have more options before them, like the ones we've enjoyed. And if all of that seems a little much, a little heavy on a sunny Easter morning, here's a poem written a few weeks ago, again by my colleague Lynn Unger, reflecting on this season in spite of the state of the political world. She wrote this on April 4th, saying, I don't know how all of this turns out, and neither do you, but I have to confess it doesn't look good. I wish we were headed for a picnic, for a waltz in the park. I wish we were not ruled by broken men who want to damage everything they cannot possess. I wish I could tell you what we do now. The street is littered with the petals of cherries that blossomed before the big wind came. Tonight there will be frost and tender buds will burn. But still, the woods are unfolding into green, and just outside my door, some frog is bellowing for all he's worth. Who knows what will happen next? All I can tell you is that the fields are ablaze with dandelions who have never known the meaning of defeat. I want our grandchildren's grandchildren to know the glory of dandelions in bloom, those pesky, beautiful, magnificent weeds. I imagine you do too. May it be so, my friends. May it be so. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend Eric. Will the ushers please start passing the baskets at this time? Thank you. This congregation has a long history of care, vitality, and bringing people together to move the arc of justice forward. We've been able to live into our hopes and dreams because of the generosity of those within and beyond this community. Whether you are here in Worship Hall or anywhere else, you are part of this community. We rely on one another to keep this congregation vital and resilient. If you have any questions about how you can give, please go to our website or contact our finance manager to find out how you can make a donation or keep up with your pledge. Also, for those in Worship Hall, you can use the QR code on the back of the order of service to make an online donation. Our gifts are freely given and gratefully received. We dedicate these gifts to the work of this community of faith, serving human wholeness, caring for the planet, upholding religious freedom, welcoming the stranger, loving one another. Now let us sing together once more. Please rise in body or spirit as Jen leads us in singing Rising Green, which is hymn number 1068 in the Teal hymnal, and the words will be up on the screen.
flashing on a far distant land. Ringing my song is the wind of my breast, and my love blows over the land. And my love, and my love, and my love blows over the land. My foot carries days of the old into new. Our dreaming shows us the way. Wondrous our faith, set us deep in the earth, rising green to bring a new day. Rising green, rising green, rising green to bring a new day.
Thank you, Jen, Kali. Before we begin to close this time of worship and reflection, a reminder that food and household items from our grocery support program are available to any who would like some from the room adjacent to Fellowship Hall. 2 Ajaski grow towers are back up in the same room, but are still not quite ready for us to begin harvesting quite yet. But there is more oxygen in that room, so I invite you to go in and enjoy some. Mia's Indian Cuisine is once again offering for lunch for sale after the service and there. And I have to remember my important prop. If you are new here coming on Easter Sunday, or simply welcome a really good conversation during coffee hour, please pick up a green mug as you enter Fellowship Hall. Doing so will help others looking forward to a good conversation find you. And if you see someone drinking from one of these, ask them about who they are and what brought them here this morning, and help start another great conversation. Now, as we prepare to extinguish our chalice, let these words from Joel Miller guide us forward. We all know loss and pain. Let none of it divide us. In the rising sun today, let us do together what we cannot do alone. Roll away the stones that close our hearts. Our chalice is extinguished, but the spark of faith remains in our hearts. Tally, will you help bless us again in leading us through and singing Spirit of Life, which you'll find as number 123 in your gray hymnal. We'll sing it through first in English and then en français. Once again, please rise in body or spirit. as now we return to the challenge and the joy of helping our world come even a little more alive in love. Let us go with love in our hearts, sowing seeds of justice with our hands so that we feel peace in our steps. Go in peace, my friends. Go making peace. Happy Easter. Go Sens.